Well, hey everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 24th day of June 2020. It's a Thursday, a Jupiter day. The moon is now in Capricorn, and at 11:40, in about 3 hours, it's going to go full. So last night was Maiden. I hope you got to get out and see that. Hopefully there was no clouds out there obscuring your vision. It was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. I think tonight's going to be incredible. Well, let's review what we did on Monday. Let's see. We had Urus and Conjunctio. So the manifesting force behind the actual manifestation of unity or joining. So it's the spirit informing that process. Okay, that's how we would interpret those two together. The first three cards we took were the Fool, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. The challenge card was the Hermit, and what benefited us was the Wheel. So we basically had three cards from the major arcana. So big energy coming in, soul energy coming in, basically, to add to everything. So the notes I put down, manifesting unity, that would be the runes. Undeveloped potential with the Fool, something new is possible, and a new path or something new is going to come into your life. See things from an analytical or rational perspective. Do your research. Now that would be the King of Swords. And then the Ten of Cups is happiness and fulfillment. Now the challenge with the Hermit would be to step back and not allow emotions or subjectivity or personal agenda to get in the way of what it is you're going to be doing. And if you do that, then the benefit is you have a successful outcome. So either today we're going to build on that, or we're going to turn a corner and start something new. So let's go ahead and take the rune. If this is your first time here, welcome. Click subscribe, and I hope you like the video as well. But what I do here is I do a reading on Monday and then on Thursday, and then we try to hook them together if we can. Otherwise, because sometimes I think it takes time for things to gel with people and to really be thinking about stuff. And change doesn't necessarily happen overnight. So we have Rado, integrated motion or harmony with others. We see Vunyo, the P. If you take this little piece off of it, you see Vunyo. If you take all of this out here, well, let's see if I can do it this way. I'm having to do it backwards. I'll write it out. So here are the components, except that my pen isn't working. Well, of course. Let's see if this one will work. So there's Rado. Looks like an R. You've got Isa, the Norn rune of the static realm. It looks like this isn't going to work either. You've got Laguz, which is flow. You've got Vunyo. And Kenaz twice, forward and reversed. So this is a really, really complex rune in terms of all of its components. And again, you're talking about the light of spirit coming in and reflecting outward and informing everything you do, flowing in that energy, in that present moment experience where you're collaborating with others. You can think rider and horse. That's one of the common interpretations or examples, you know, to kind of give you a visual of that integrated motion of how a rider and the horse will integrate together in their movement. Otherwise, the horse will buck the rider off, right? If you can't find that rhythm with that horse. Well, that's really what this is. It's rhythmic motion. It's integrated motion with others. Let's take a look at what the geomancy rune is going to be. Oh, well, Carcer. Let's find Carcer. Oh, it's right on top. Looks like a little cage, doesn't it? Carcer means self-imprisonment. Or imprisonment by others, maybe, but usually it's self-imprisonment. It's what we do to ourselves to keep us stuck in perceptions and things like that. So it looks like we kind of have some opposites there. Integrated motion, where things are moving along maybe in a positive way, but then maybe you feel stuck in something, or you're keeping yourself in a situation that really needs to change, or you need to move out of. So if we're drawing it to what we did on Monday, then something new was possible if you could see things from a rational perspective. And if you can do that, you know, and get out of the way of yourself and don't allow perceptions to, you know, maybe what this is that you were beginning all of this and now you're sort of trying to figure it out. How do I not get in the way of something that I'm trying to do? How do I not imprison myself in perceptions that are no longer serving me, or this new path I'm on, or this new experience I'm having? And maybe it's one where, if in terms of Rado, where it's self-integration, you know, where you're trying to figure out, how do I balance all of that? Balance the integration with self and others, with you know, being stuck in perceptions that maybe hold you back. So that may be part of what the struggle is today. But let's go ahead and take a look at the first card. Well, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And here we see a guy, a farmer, kind of leaning on his hoe or his rake or whatever that is. I can't really see the bottom of it there. But he's taking stock. Pentacles is the earth element, and so it's material possessions. Here, it's harvest, okay? It's everything that makes up our physical lives. And in terms of our home, our work, our security. And here he's taking stock of what he has, his harvest. And you can think in terms of harvest as all of the knowledge you've gained over a lifetime, maybe. It doesn't just have to be whatever he's grown there. But in a sense, that's what you grow. You grow your awareness. You grow your knowledge. You know, the more you're alive, the more you learn, hopefully, you know, unless you just don't want to, I suppose. We seem to see a lot of people like that now, that take a look at science and they're befuddled by it. They think it's all a lie. They think it's all a con. Well, no. And that's somebody who's really in a carcer moment, really. They're stuck in their own perceptions and they cannot get out of them. There's no possible explanation other than what's in their minds, you see. Well, here we have Temperance. The 14th card of the Major Arcana. I'll put those cards down so we can talk about this in a little bit. We see the Angel. Source presence emanating from around its head. You see in the center of his, he's got like a headband on, and he's got a round disc. That's the sun. It's also representative of God, or the Creator. We see the sun down here appearing between two peaks with a path running in between it, down from it or up to it, you see. Comes down here or goes up to. You see the water irises. I've got a bunch blooming right now around my pond and up in my irrigation ditch. And the angel's got 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water. And the glyph for fire is right here on the angel's gown. And the angel's pouring water from one chalice to the other. Basically, what temperance is moderation. And it's balancing will with emotion. And that's where you get the idea of moderation. So collectively right now we have a 3 numerology between the 7 and the 14 reduces to 5. 5 and 7 is 12. That's 3 for the numerology. So we're still mind, body, spirit, balance, communication, interaction, reason, analysis. And that again aligns with the King of Swords from Monday. But the idea is that this undeveloped potential that we have needs to manifest somehow. And, you know, and at this point, I think we need to take stock of what we have, of what's going to help our new, you know, endeavor moving forward. What about our knowledge? What about our past experience is going to come in? And, you know, or if the successful outcome with the 10 of Cups and the wheel maybe the successful outcome, that's one way to look at it. But if we're looking at it in terms of the successful outcome, then here we have this. We have the successful outcome here. But it's taking stock and seeing where we are, you know, that matters. So we know what to do moving forward. And the angel here is suggesting that we move forward in temperance or moderation. Not get too carried away with whatever it is we're doing. In other words, take stock. Be sure before you continue on. And then we have the King of Wands for the third card. Again, Wands is catalytic. It's the fire element. And basically, you're talking about, again, a wise counselor. And you can see the way, at least from the camera's perspective, okay, from the reader's perspective, if you will, we're not sure who he's looking at. He's holding his staff, and he's sitting on his throne. And you don't know if he's actually looking at people, or if he's just looking out over something else. But he's an authority figure. He's knowledgeable. He's wise. He's a mentor. He can also be a warrior, given the fire element. He can be bigoted and cruel. He can be all kinds of things, you know, when the will gets away from him, because that's the main thing that he has to learn to balance. The king does, is will. So again, that's if we're feeling like we want to assert ourselves maybe in a way that is going to end up getting us in trouble here. You know, we're taking stock of all of that. And maybe we need to have temperance after the fact. We'll put after the king. So you take stock of what you have and what you know, and what's going to benefit you moving forward in this new endeavor that we decided we're on Monday, manifesting unity with one another. So it's a collaboration. We've got Rado again today, which is another form of collaboration. You know, Carcer, well, I mean, Carcer, let me look up one thing here on Carcer. It really just depends on how you see it and what's around it, really. Well, in this case, because there's one thing here, desired object attained. Now, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's a feeling of completion, and that's why that's there. I included it in the interpretations I have because it's like an outlier. But I really think that in this case, it's having to give up outmoded ideas in order that you can collaborate with others. There's a restrictiveness sometimes that people feel when they're trying to work with others. They want to take the reins, they want to take control, and they don't realize that it's a feeling of restriction. You know, and so therefore it's the Carcer feeling. It's feeling like you can't really connect with others, so you can't move out of your own comfort zone. So in a sense, Carcer could be that. It could be a self-imposed comfort zone that you have a hard time moving out of. But it's that restrictive, caged feeling that I think is most relevant here. And if we pay attention and we move forward and we pay attention to the knowledge that we have, it can guide us moving forward. If we move forward, you know, instead of at extremes, which the King of Wands can actually do, which we don't want, then if we move forward in moderation, balancing will with emotions, then maybe we can see the whole picture a whole lot more clearly if we're not having to worry about those two things getting in the way. You know, it's subjectivity with emotions, to where you really can't, your emotions cloud the issue and assist and increase the whole Carcer experience, maybe. But let's look at the challenge card. Well, the Ace of Cups. You've got to let that emotion settle. You've got to let new emotional presence come in. Here you have a hand reaching out from the clouds, familiar theme with all of the aces. You see the white dove of peace dropping a crossed disc into the water there into the chalice. You can see the chalice is overflowing in 5 streams of water, depicting air, fire, water, and earth and spirit. The aces are said to contain all of the essences of all the small cards of all the major or minor arcana cards. But it's joy, it's abundance, it's emotional resonance, it's love, it's flow, it's emotional reward, emotional beginnings, the genesis of new emotion. So if you're not used to balancing this out in temperance, fire with water, will with emotion, then that may be a new experience for you, and that may be a challenge, okay? And so I think that that's referring to the Temperance card, and I think that the challenge then also relates to Carcer in that it may be difficult to let go of emotions that no longer serve, okay? But let's look at the Benefit card. I suspect that whatever was going on Monday, if this is not turning the corner, then I think that this is just getting a little more definitive about the issues you're going to face with whatever this new manifestation is. It's going to lead to success, so you've got to work this stuff out. You know, and anytime you start something new, whether it's a new project, a new job, a new relationship, you're in a new home, there's always challenges. There's always a struggle to try to figure things out, you know, and especially if it's something brand new that you've never experienced before, you really have to feel your way. And if you can draw from your own past experience, there may be something there that can inform how you know, the way forward, basically, and what's the best course of action to take. Let's do the last card. Well, we have the Chariot, which is basically what I've been talking about. Resistance versus allowing, letting go of the reins versus taking control, allowing the process to unfold, basically. And aligning it with the Temperance card with moderation. This is a card of balance. I mean, it really is. If you look at this, you see the 2 towers here, if you want to call them towers, 2 buildings. You see the 2 wheels. You see the 2 little critters here, the sphinxes. You see the dreidel is straight up and down on the shield. And so the dreidels in balance. It's not falling over. He's holding his wand here. You see the stars up above, the Merkabahs. You see he's got a humongous star on his crown right there. You see the triple aspects of the goddess represented here, here, and here. And you see the glyph for earth on his breastplate. But make no mistake about it, the little guys here are at rest. You can think that the battle is over. Again, it's a 7 energy. We began with a 7 numerology, with the 7 of Pentacles, where we're taking stock. But in a sense, that's what we're doing here. Only here, we're letting the polarities settle out. You see the black and white sphinxes here, the little lions. Well, this is receptive. This is projective. This is feminine. This is masculine. But they're both at rest, and so they're both in balance. Everything, you see the winged sun right here. This is healing, okay? So in a sense, that's what we're doing here with Temperance. So I think that the Temperance is going to align very well with the Chariot. If we let go of emotions that no longer serve us, and we let go of the control we want to have, then we can actually flow better in Rado with one another. Okay? And I'm really torn between whether this is a different reading from Monday or if we're adding to it. Again, if we started something new on Monday, no matter what it was, again, new job, new home, new friends, new relationship, new anything, it doesn't matter, new project, it was clear that we were going to do that in integration with at least one other person, maybe more. And so now the promise of success, if we can do all that right, now we take stock on what that was. And we can see with the 7 that we've actually built something, right? We've achieved something. But now, either that, if we haven't achieved something yet, it can be that we're taking a look at what do we already possess to achieve something. Well, we possess wisdom and knowledge from the king. We're going to approach things by balancing our will with our emotions so that one doesn't get ahead of the other, because it can. And then it gets in the way of our ability to think. The challenge, again, is to not let emotions get in the way of everything, to react with a new level of maturity, emotional maturity on this. And then the benefit is that the end result is we know when to let go of the reins and when to take control. And if this is a new project, if this is a collaborative effort with somebody else or a group of someone else's, say at a job or what have you, then maybe some of your issues with that are when to take the reins and when to let go. Learning how to let other people, offer their input and have that just be as valued as what your own input would be. And with Rado, we really are working in harmony with other people, or at least one other person, and learning how to do that. Taking stock again of where we are in that process and what strengths do we carry with us into it. But not letting those strengths overshadow the strengths of other people involved. Because if we do that, then we imprison the moment, don't we, with carcer? It's difficult to really move on when people are, trying to struggle against one another. The idea is collaboration, not. Well, hey everybody, I'm gonna dub these two together because it froze at like 24 minutes or some such thing. Anyway, I was done with the reading. So I just should have stopped sooner. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try and hook these two together. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a really good weekend. Stay tuned for Esoteric Influences on Sunday. Look for that. Let's see. I will, with the forecast for today, I will probably go, when I put up the magical stuff over on Patreon, I'll go ahead and I'll do probably a video for that. We'll see. So check for that as well if you're a Patreon member. If you're not, consider joining. It's $1 a month or $12 a year. And you can join monthly. You don't have to join every month if you don't want to. All of it gets unlocked. So you can, if you don't have time, if your schedule's busy or something, no sense in doing it unless you're going to be there. So you can catch up, every so often if you want to do that too. So that's an option as well. I write over on Medium. Check out the Esoteric Forecast over there. And I guess that's it. So I'll try to hook these two together. If not, I'm going to do the whole thing all over again. So have a great day and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.